So remember that they're changing my voice. And keep in mind they're viewing me, so I'm going to make this short. Bear with me. One of the devil's main tricks, right, the governing class, the devil, what have you, is that they sabotage people and they get you to play stupid and go along with it. They get the masses of attractive females to date toward so-called alphas. Are the alphas in reality? No. Because real men, they don't play stupid about things that matter most, and romantic injustice is one of those things that matter most. It is stupid to look at what's going on and to play into it. People who are allowed to seem like alphas, right, playing the game, are betas, and they don't deserve attractive females. Almost no one on this planet deserves attractive females, and they know it. That's part of the psychology that's taking place. They look at it and say, hey, the people who are manipulating people, they look at this and say, hey, most females don't respect the so-called alpha males, in America, because they're just rape by deception clowns. They don't use that phrase, they don't use that terminology, but they see it that way. They say guys are dogs, guys are dicks, guys are assholes. And this is a society where it's full of males with suits who pretend to be alphas. It's full of people who go to the gym, jocks, you name it. Now, when we look at the left wing, okay, minorities are disproportionately liberals. And that's where the feminist agenda is most associated with. And that's where the LGBT agenda is most associated with. Okay, and this video is not about criticizing those agendas. It's about just pointing this fact out. That they want minorities to seem disproportionately like LGBT people because you associate them with betas. Because to a lot of attractive heterosexual women, they think of gay people and bisexual people as being disgusting. No offense to anyone. There's a lot of reasons that I'm right. When you look at the police officers in Germany, for example, and you compare them to a gay parade in America, it's like in Kansas or something, you see that the police officers look more serious. They look like they're going to provide for their family, and the West likes to sell people the idea that if you conform and you're financially stable and you seem like a Western, Germanic, or Nordic kind of serious, hard-working person, that magically, fucking miraculously, that you're the ideal date, in spite of the Native American genocide, colonialism, etc. Okay, and again, I'm not racist. These are the facts. When you look at this, it's impossible to look at this as a fair-minded person and not to come to the conclusion that this should be said. If you want to treat people fairly in general, you're not going to play stupid about this. If you're an attractive female, who gets guys' attention to the extreme, guys kill themselves over, there's 100 pregnancies every day in America from rape, I read somewhere. Okay, 10 to 12% of gang-related homicides are directly attributed to romance-related issues, right? They're over a female, over someone sleeping with someone's female, things like this, okay? All the rapes that take place, all the guys who turn to child molestation because society doesn't govern in a way where people find a suitable helper that's, something they deserve. There's so many reasons I'm right here. So you have this disgusting process. One of the most disgusting things you see these days is who they try to sell as the ideal date, who they try to get attractive females to date, the type of person. And they're even filming me right now to make it harder for me to speak on it. While people are raped and killed, and people are raped so much that there's 100 pregnancies from rape every day. That's ridiculous, right? And they're obstructing justice. It may as well be their kid being raped. If their kid was being raped and they killed themselves as a result, while they're after they're filming me, while making this video, that'd be a certain form of poetic justice. I mean, it is disgusting that these people calculate to do these things and that they enforce them. You think police officers who enforce this rape by deception system should have first pick when it comes to attractive women? Disgusting. You think the military? Disgusting. You think people who swim in blood money, so to speak? Disgusting. Disgusting. If you raised a daughter that plays into that, you should disown her. You say, look, give her an ultimatum. Stop dating these fucking monsters that this monstrous system's trying to get you to date, or fuck off, you little slut. That's what you should tell your daughter. What the fuck? You raise some kind of whore that plays into the devil's hand? Some horny devil in a suit? The devil's often called a horny devil, and Google the phrase devil in a suit. See how many clicks you get, how many hits you get. Rather, they think if I stumble on my words, it makes them more of an alpha male. They think if they cheat Jesus out of a suitable helper, then magically their marriages are fucking golden. How sick is that? They think if they abuse minorities for generations and try to make them seem gayer, that they're somehow winning, that it's somehow improving their fucking races. Pathetic. I tell you, I'm not racist. I tell you the truth, I'm not racist, but I will never be proud to be part white because the damage is done and they've gone so fucking far with their rape by deception, so disgustingly far. Just no care whatsoever. No care for their families, no care for women, no care for nothing. Just disgusting pigs. Horrible. Okay, let's reflect on what just happened. Every time I get worked up, I reflect on what happened. So when we look at minorities and the crime rates that are associated with them, we know that they're kind of sabotaged and disenfranchised and marginalized for generations. We know that there's potent psychological operations taking place, and that America is a racist country that even denies that gang stalking exists. Okay, so to be mad at minorities is not the same as being mad at whites and Jews and privileged LGBT people. It's not the same. To be mad at the average black person who's not a token minority is not the same as being mad at a token minority. So I make these distinctions. And I should be able to chastise people according to race or whatever group they're a part of, religion, what have you, without any complaints whatsoever, not even the slightest, people having even the slightest inclination to complain. But yet I cut off that short in order to make it clear that I'm not racist. Okay, to make it clear that I'm very angry that white people as a group are playing stupid about this. I'm very angry that Jews as a group are playing stupid about this. I'm very angry that they're leading the charge to persecute me at the most important time in history. I'm very angry at the LGBT people who, sexually harass me all the time. I'm angry at these groups for a good reason. My anger is justified. My description is justified. I'm even part white. Okay? So when I say, this phrase disgusting pig, it's not because someone is born white. It's because people as groups, whatever group it may apply to, are accepting these cultures of oppression, okay, which come with, a sort of sick game where some white people, some Jews pretend to be on the minority side, and somewhere somehow they somewhat are, like, in certain cases historically, but for the most part they're not. And then there's ones who openly say things and it has a certain effect that is planned, it's calculated. They want it to be that way. They want people to say, well, Abraham Lincoln wasn't so bad, and so on and so forth. Okay? When those people, Abraham Lincoln was just like a lot of other people, he was supporting the system of white supremacy. He was controlled opposition. He wasn't this kind of hero. Okay? And so when we look at this thing, it's clear that for them as a group, as the West, as Europeans, as a group, okay, to plan the colonization of the world and to sabotage people and to plan to take their women as a group, okay? And I tell you, just because you're white doesn't mean you have to be a disgusting pig. Separate yourself from that colonial culture. Separate yourself from controlled opposition. Separate yourself from the Democratic Party, Republican, Libertarian, okay? Rally to me. Let's face this together. Because if you don't, if you continue to do what you're doing, you'll be in the repetition of being a disgusting devil, a disgusting pig. And that's not the same as racism. That's not, what I just said is not the same as being racist. Okay? And if you think it is, please weigh in. But I'm sure you can all agree when you really think about this, you search your souls, your minds, and your hearts, that people need to be pressed on this issue. This needs to be said. People need to be confronted with this in a way that's strategic and not violent or senseless violence or whatever, but strategic and logical and just well thought out. Thank you. So again, as I look at this thing, I'm the type of person who corrects his mistakes. If he has made mistakes, and I haven't made any very serious mistakes in my life, okay, I think that sequence needs to remain, because it has a certain effect that needs to occur. And I think everyone on this planet should hear this video, even kids, okay? Whatever pride you think is important to you is nowhere near as important as your correcting mistakes. I didn't become the top martial artist ever possible by being a racist. I'm not racist. That clouds your judgment. I didn't become the top martial artist ever possible, okay, by refusing to correct any minor mistakes I was making. And I never made any major mistakes. When I look back at it, it just didn't occur. When you truly understand what making a mistake is and isn't, okay, I corrected any mistakes that I made. I became the best martial artist ever possible. That's my character. That's my way of thinking. That's my mentality. That's how I do things. That's how I move. That's the paths I walk. You've got to understand that these groups I always rebuke, in a sense, need to be rebuked, and it's not racist. And if I have any regret in this video, and the part that's most controversial, it's that they refute me, so you don't really hear my anger. You don't really hear the disdain that I have for what they're doing, for the spirits that they're in, that they refuse to come out of. If you're in a Luciferian spirit, if you're in a rape by deception spirit, okay, only a dumbass would praise it. Well, it's not so bad. These are our ways. Well, fuck you. Shut up. We like it that way. Or, yeah, we're not perfect, but we like it this way. It's all bullshit. Stop being a fucking rape cult demon.